Okay, I now understand all the Bloodborne hype. If you're new here, Elden Ring was my introduction to FromSoft, and I've been slowly making my way through all the Soulsborne games, experiencing them for the first time ever. And it's been quite the journey because I'm not only playing them for the first time, I'm also going for the platinum. And with Demon Souls, Elden Ring, Night Rain, and Dark Souls completed so far, today we take on Bloodborne.
I can't get enough. Back with another milk. Help!
Bloodborne has 34 trophies to collect. These include defeating all the main and optional bosses, item collections, and multiple ending trophies. It's pretty straightforward, honestly. There is also a DLC adding 6 more trophies. However, I will be saving that for another video, so stay tuned for that. The basic premise of this game, without getting too deep into the lore, is that our character arrives to Yharnam in search for a special blood treatment, implying that we're sick, and the old guy in the prologue convinces us to sign a contract to become a hunter in exchange for this blood. And throughout our journey of being a hunter, we slowly uncover the truth of Yharnam. First thing I noticed when I finally got to move around was the horrendous 30 FPS. This game definitely is running at like 30 frames. I hope it doesn't make the boss fights harder running at lower frame rates. Can't like react and stuff. Like every Souls game, we're met with an enemy in the prologue that's goal is to send us to the Shadow Realm. Is there a weapon that I missed or something? I'm stuck. Bro.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
We're then taken to the Hunter's Dream, which serves as our main hub area with shops, weapon upgrade stations, and much more. Here we also collect our weapons to start our journey as a hunter. The Platinum Trophy for this game is pretty straightforward and can be completed in one playthrough if you utilize the backup saves for all the multiple ending trophies. The main goal is to just explore around and defeat the bosses until we reach the final one, while also considering the collectible items of each of the areas basically. I did use ChatGPT to create myself like a progression route checklist to make sure I fully complete areas before moving to the next. We're first thrown into Central Yharnam. I don't know why, but this game was giving me like Resident Evil meets Souls vibes, and I was here for it. I was mainly getting used to the controls because this game definitely felt different from the other games I've played of the series. You got these trick weapons that I didn't really understand at all. You can shoot a gun. You got something called a health rally system. And the most brain twister thing of all is healing with triangle. Oh, Colette. Oh, hold up. You shooting a musket with a switch. I was mainly just exploring around this beginning area, collecting all the loot, and I even found some drip early on. Oh, this is fire. We look like the art cover.
Look at the drip today. The drip nuts.
What I do love is how this game encourages exploration by having the enemies drop these blood vial healing items, so you're way more confident in these unknown areas. I recently played Dark Souls, and they quite literally want you to consistently die and just be careful while exploring the areas. Bloodborne was honestly so refreshing to me. Eventually we stumbled upon our first boss for a trophy opportunity, the Cleric Beast. Oh, we cut something off. Oh. Damn. No, not a crab, not a crab. Better not kill him, better not kill him. No, no. A fourth? Dog, we're cooked. We're cooked. Things didn't go as planned on my first try, and we got sent back to the Hunter's Dream, where this time a new section was opened and we meet the main dude, Gehrman. To my knowledge, this dude is basically the first hunter who also serves as our mentor for this journey. There wasn't anything else for me here, so I just attempted the boss again. I'm in my element. We cooking. We cooking. Let's go. That should be our first trophy. We received our first trophy to kick things off, and also the Sword Hunter's badge. Badges are important because they basically make certain items available to buy inside the shop, and this is how you acquire most of the weapons for the collection trophy. After leveling up back at the Hunter's Dream, I continued exploring Central Yharnam, starting NPC quests to get important items for later. I found another one of those badges, and not long after I stumbled upon another boss arena. See if I can pair. Oh yeah, you can, okay. So I can probably just parry him to death or something. Whoa, wait, what does he turn to now? Get away from me. Get away from me, get away from me. Okay. Let's go. Hey, another trophy. The next area we arrived to is called Cathedral Ward, and I will receive another trophy for picking up my very first blood gem. These are upgrades that you can equip to your weapons with various buffs. You can find these just throughout the game, and you do get another trophy for finding an extremely precious blood gem. Bloodborne is a pretty linear game, but some areas do split off to multiple locations. So instead of exploring through Cathedral Ward like I was supposed to, I actually ended up in old Yharnam being targeted by a dude with an AC-130, literally. That is crazy. I just got shot down by a switch. Making it to the boss of this area, the blood-starved beast, I came into this with literally no blood vials, and the outcome was expected. I have no heals, man. To even restock on blood vials, you have to buy them or either farm enemies. This game isn't like the other Souls games where they automatically refill at bonfires. Early game, buying them can be a little pricey, so I had to farm around the central Yharnam area before I can confidently attempt the boss again. And not gonna lie, the boss kind of got the best of me. Oh, man. That is so stupid. I can't see it. Why did I summon this Alfred dude? It's pretty simple to fight and has a basic moveset, but that poison would straight eat through all of my heals. And I unfortunately died quite a few times before discovering the antidotes in my inventory. This definitely was the answer to my problems.
I think this nigga is really retarded, my nigga.
Let's go. This should give us a trophy too. And we actually got a 2-for-1 special for beating the boss and also acquiring the Pathermaru. I don't know how to say that, but it was a chalice, and chalices are used to access dungeons, and that's a whole thing itself that we'll eventually get into later in the video. Finally, returning back to the Cathedral Ward area, I found myself once again traveling a side path and looted my very first Carol ruin for a trophy. But then this time I caught myself and decided to travel back. This area was fairly easy to explore. So far, most enemies have been pretty mediocre and nothing too crazy. We basically spoke to many different NPCs that were hiding inside of houses, and then not long after we reached yet another boss. Full health, come on. Yes, okay. Let's go. Do we get a trophy for this boss? Yes. Defeating this boss triggers cutscene lore stuff. This game gives me Resident Evil vibes, like Resident Evil 8. And then after, I would need to return back to Cathedral Ward towards that path that I actually turned away from. On my way there, I stumbled upon a secret drop leading to a chest with an extremely precious Carol rune. So now we're exploring around the Healing Church workshop. This led to an abandoned workshop that gives us a trophy for just reaching it. In this area, we also discover some more important items. I don't know what this game got going on, but we found 1/3 of an umbilical cord. It sounds pretty weird, but apparently these are needed for the secret ending trophy. We also found our very first hunter tool called the Old Bone. Hunter tools function similar to like spells or incantations from other Souls games, and there is a trophy for collecting all of them. The next area we explored was called Hemwick, where I would face the first boss to genuinely frustrate the hell out of me. How did he heal his other one? Did he just grab me? I hate this one. I hate this one, man. Bro, if he grabs me again. Oh, I see where you went. You ain't slick. Oh my God, bro. Stop this shit. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? I see you. You're mine. You're mine. No, no. Come on, get up. Let me get up. Let me get up and you're done. This better be it. Let's go. We defeated the Witch of Hemwick for a trophy, so now we can move on to the next area. Something I find really cool about this game is that if you die to certain enemies, they'll kidnap you and take you to a new location. And back towards the Cathedral Ward area, this Grim Reaper looking dude holding a bag will take us to a jail-like area where I would find another boss for a trophy opportunity. There it is. Continuing on, I leveled up, progressed some NPC quests, looted around to prepare for the Forbidden Woods area. Traveling there, this would be probably the first area I kind of had trouble getting through. The enemies were pretty tough. Bro, I didn't expect to get jumped by 50 people. Dog. There's no way this just happened. There's no way this just, like, I'm not escaping this. I'm not, like, honestly, I was just running through this area, unlocking the shortcuts and looting the bodies because I didn't want to deal with these enemies. Then eventually we made it to the boss. Oh my god, it's 3 bosses. Oh, okay, you can parry them easily. Yes. Okay. They are so annoying with this fire. Alright. The last annoying firefucker. Oh, he's not dead. Imagine. Reaching this next area, we have to bring a summons letter to Hemwick, and a cart will pull up that takes us deep within the snow to a place named Cainhurst. This was a pretty dope transition, and gaining entry here gave us a trophy. Following my checklist, this was apparently the next area for me to explore, but I was reconsidering if it was even accurate because I was getting straight tossed around by these spider-looking enemies. Oh my god. Bro, these enemies... Dog, these enemies are irritating. Hopping around like bunnies, just being annoying. There ain't no way this shit is fucking real. This area did have lots of loot, and I even found something towards the Hunter Tool Collection trophy, but the boss of this area, I would say, is a real skill check. Oh, so that can go through. Okay. Oh my god, he does so much damage. I'm cooked, I'm cooked. Bro just spams fucking spells, literally.
Wow, man. Damn.
Almost. We just got a clutch, Yes! That was the craziest clutch ever. You better not have a second phase. That gotta be the craziest boss I fought. I mean, I beat him on the second try, but like his first phase was harder than his second phase. This was definitely one of the most complex bosses I've fought so far, but we somehow managed to beat it quickly. If you equip the crown that we get from this boss fight, it'll open a secret passage behind the Martyr Arena, where we meet the Queen of the Valbloods, and joining her rewards us with another badge for new weapons. The next area we travel to is another where we're taken by an enemy that transport us to like a school looking place. Arriving here gave us another trophy, and I believe the lore of this place is it's where the scholars study the blood that we're seeking or something. We are only able to explore the first floor so far, but we can find a new hunter tool. So after exiting here, we're led to a place called the Nightmare Frontier, where we face the boss Amygdala. We'll play safe, One more hit, unless you got a second phase. Yes! No second phase. Thank you. 2 trophies. What is this? A chalice? Okay. This officially marks my halfway point of the Platinum Trophy journey, and we still have many more bosses to face. What I will say is that the previous Souls games I played definitely prepared me for this, and Bloodborne has probably been easier than Dark Souls Remastered as of now.
What?
The pacing of this game is more up my alley, and I feel way more confident than I did on Dark Souls for sure. The next boss for us to face was located in Byrgenwerth, and it's a spider named Ram. Before jumping down to the area, I summoned the NPC near the arena without knowing what I was getting myself into, and very quickly I realized that it was very much needed. I can't even express how frustrating these little armor spider head things are. I swear, these things do more damage than the actual boss. Bruh. Okay, did this thing just do more damage? One more hit. Thank you. One of the most annoying bosses, I swear. Like, how they go set up spider bosses with literally their heads are like armored, bro. I'm not too knowledgeable with the lore of some of these bosses, but to my understanding, defeating Rom shatters the illusion that's hiding the truth of Yharnam, which is why we see blood moons and darkness and stuff. Then a new area also opens named Yahargul Unseen Village. This area was pretty ruthless, not gonna lie. I mainly just tried to speed run through it for the loot, but even then, it was a pretty stressful experience. After getting slaughtered, I decided I didn't want to use this axe anymore, and my new weapon would now be the Ludwig's Holy Blade. This is a short sword style weapon that transformed into a great sword, and this is exactly what I was looking for.
This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly.
So returning back to Yahargul, I found the boss arena to put my new weapon to the test, and it did not disappoint. And the one reborn. I didn't waste any time traveling to the next area called the Upper Cathedral Ward. Now this place was locked away, requiring a key, and discovering this did reward us with a trophy. So we explored around, killed enemies, found loot, you get it by now. Eventually we made it to the boss of this area called the Celestial Emissary. It's hiding between these or something. Oh yeah. Just grew bigger. Whoa.
What do you mean by that?
And he got tracking. Hold up. There we go. I don't know the lore behind that boss, but that was an odd one. In this same arena, we can actually destroy a window leading to a path where we find another hunter tool and a boss. With only a small amount of healing vials left, because unfortunately I ran out, I had a feeling that I wouldn't even survive the battle, so I summoned the old hunter and thought to at least give the boss a little attempt. Oh, he does damage. He does damage. This is gonna be a tough one. Oh my god.
A few moments later.
I was a bit discouraged after getting straight destroyed, but after farming up some blood vials since I was low, I returned back to give it another shot, and it was a way better experience. Let's heal just to be safe. I don't know what's going on my screen, but straight skill. Straight skill, y'all. Straight skill, straight skill. Straight skill. Hey. It's two bosses. Ooh. 2 trophies? Back to back? A pretty unfortunate disclaimer that I hate even happened somehow. From this point on, my live audio was muted, so you can't really hear my reactions, but I hope that you can feel them through the screen.
Are you serious right now, bro?
The next area probably has one of the most unique boss experiences so far. You fight a dude named Mikolash. His whole arena is like a playground where he's jumping through mirrors, teleporting. It's pretty wild. With Mikolash defeated, we can continue our way through the Nightmare of Menace area to find another boss named Murgo's Wet Nurse. Not gonna lie, I did die quite a few times. I was getting caught by a move that I swear was straight one-shotting me.
That's suspicious. That's suspicious like shit.
This boss was draining all of my blood vials, and it escalated to an all or nothing moment. Along with the trophy, defeating Murgo will reward you with an umbilical cord, and if you recall earlier, we'll need 3 of these for the secret ending. Story-wise, we're at the final boss. This whole platinum can be completed in technically 1 playthrough, so now I would say this is the cleanup phase of our journey, where we try to get the trophies that we missed. Back in the Nightmare of Menace area, we can find a blood rock, the last material needed to fully upgrade our weapon for the trophy. Then I collected my last umbilical cord to prepare for the endings. Throughout playing the game and exploring the areas, I've collected almost all of the hunter tools. The only ones left were located in the Forbidden Woods and Nightmare Frontier, and that's another trophy added towards our platinum. So moving on, I went around collecting weapons that's needed towards the collection trophy. This included badges to unlock more weapons in the shop, and also looting loose weapon drops. However, we can't finish this trophy just yet, yet because beating the final boss will unlock a new weapon on a new game plus. For now, we're just preparing, so that will be our last weapon. I also don't have enough blood echoes to purchase everything from the shop just yet. So now the time has come for us to explore these dungeons of all the chalices that I've been acquiring throughout playing. I was warned by many that this will be probably the hardest part of the platinum, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Starting my first chalice named the Fumeru Labyrinth. I don't even know if I pronounced it right. I honestly use Google Translate. These are basically generated dungeons with multiple layers and each end with a boss where you can find some of the best loot in the game. The trophy we need is for defeating the boss of the last chalice, but the curveball is that each of these chalices is locked behind materials that you gather throughout these dungeons. So I did use like a guide to understand which materials I should be looking out for, but the way the dungeons are structured is kind of like a maze where the goal is to find a lever to unlock the boss areas so we can proceed down the layers. I came in at level 75 and this one was pretty light work, honestly. You can tell that this is just low level, but regardless, we still have to make our way down the chalices for the materials so we can unlock the others. Within about 30 minutes, I completed this dungeon and moved on to the central Fumeru chalice. Throughout playing, you can find summon signs of old hunter NPCs, and I used them to somewhat speed this up, and I was able to complete this chalice within an hour. For me, the next chalice is when things started to ramp up difficulty-wise. I now was dying quite a bit during the boss fights, and while exploring through the dungeons, the enemies definitely started hitting big numbers on me, and I had to be more cautious with attacking aggressively. Making it to the third layer, I had PTSD when I noticed that I was fighting Rom again. Thankfully, it was easier this time around because I had 2 summons with me, and I was able to clear this moving on to the 4th layer. Just like usual, we looted materials, found high-level gems, fought through the layers. Then I realized that I've been messing around this dungeon for almost 2 hours straight, and it felt draining. At first, it was fun, but not gonna lie, it started getting pretty boring and repetitive quickly. This is something that's optional to regular players, but it is required for the platinum trophy, so I have to reach the final boss. This is when I proceeded to do a little research, and I found out some pretty game-changing information about all these chalices. Honestly, don't know how any of this work, but people have what they call glyph codes that can actually spawn certain dungeons, and I've completed a few chalices already, but I'm basically skipping 4 of them to immediately play through the final one. After confirming it worked, I realized I was underleveled. I was around level 80 and it's recommended to be at least 120. Somehow people have created a glyph code for effortless blood echoes so we can rank up easily, and this is insane. Before you even say something, I am only stopping at level 120, which is the meta level. I also used my blood echoes to purchase the available weapons from the shop towards the collection trophy. After getting my character prepared, I entered the dungeon. I would actually get a trophy for looting an extremely precious gem off an enemy, which does make sense because apparently the final dungeons have some of the best loot drops in the game. Exploring through here was quite the humbling experience, and I believe I skipped the chalices just as things were gonna get worse. Enemies are no longer dying in 1 to 2 swings, they're hitting even harder, and now you have to play very cautious. It doesn't immediately put us to where we need to be, we still have to make our way through each of the layers, and the boss we're looking for is on the 3rd one. So encountering the 1st layer boss, it was a familiar one that I fought earlier and had no issues with, but it's pretty crazy how an arena can just amp up the difficulty by a lot. Now this is a boss that has strings after strings of fast attacks with pillars everywhere that are pretty easy to get stuck on. You don't know how bad I wanted to throw my controller, but I definitely didn't have a spare one. Moving on to the 2nd layer, we fight the Beletting Beast. This was another boss that I struggled with mainly because of the camera angles. The moves were pretty simple and predictable, but when your screen is doing trick shots, it can be very frustrating.
But I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
With this layer finally clear, we can move on to the one of the trophy boss. This was definitely easier than the previous layers, and fortunately I was able to summon a hunter to use as a distraction, making this way easier so we can complete the trophy. The last trophies to be acquired are for collecting all the hunter weapons and then the endings. Before going to finish off the playthrough, there was still a lootable weapon that I needed inside of one of those chalice dungeons. So now the final weapon would officially be the one that I get from the badge of defeating Yharnam. I did create a backup save to get all 3 endings in one playthrough and save a lot of time. We find Gehrman in a hunter's dream where we're given 2 choices for endings. The first one is like your walkaway ending where we basically submit to him, resulting into us being freed from the hunt. This choice doesn't require a boss fight, and after reloading my save, I went with the secret ending next, and I guess it's the true ending of the game. For this, you need to use 3 umbilical cords before speaking with Gehrman, and then you make the choice to refuse his offer, resulting into a boss fight. I'm very upset that my microphone audio was muted through all of this, and you guys can't hear my live reactions, unfortunately. Gehrman wasn't even that difficult of a boss fight. You can actually parry him fairly easy. I feel like I should have went with the basic ending before doing the true ending because I didn't really understand much. But I guess the secret ending turns into a double boss fight with the arrival of the moon presence. This thing basically comes down to claim us to replace Gehrman, and since we use 3 umbilical cords, we resist and have a boss fight with it. So after defeating the moon presence, to my understanding, our character is reborn as a great one, basically a godlike being. The next ending I'm going for is like your basic ending, the one that most people get. We still have our boss fight against Gehrman, and after defeating him, the moon presence appears once again, but this time it actually claims us, and to my understanding, we basically take Gehrman's role inside the hunter's dream. Now we've completed all 3 endings and we're immediately thrown into New Game Plus, and the very last thing for us to complete this platinum is to purchase the Burial Blade weapon that's now available in the shop. Now luckily, I do have my live reaction of me completing the platinum from a TikTok that I posted. This is the last weapon I need to complete my platinum for Bloodborne. Let's buy it. Oh, there it go. The platinum, we waiting. Yes, sir. Bloodborne Platinum completed. Thank you all for tuning in to my journey of completing the Bloodborne Platinum Trophy. It definitely was a fun time, and with Elden Ring being my introduction to the Souls games, I would say Bloodborne has probably been the best experience so far. For my next video, I will be playing through the DLC to get all the trophies and fully get 100%. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.